Today on Sax Therapy, the three most common options on Major 251. If you want to successfully play any style within the world of jazz, it's a great place to start. A monster saxophonist that has only 76 monthly listeners on Spotify, and yet is one of the best players I've ever heard. How much you should ask for when booking a gig. And Eddie Harris plays a beautiful rendition of Autumn in New York. Does Jazz Today suck, or am I just an old man yelling at the clouds? All of that and more today on Sax Therapy. Let's get right into it. The most common progression in jazz music is Major 251. Major 251 in C, for example, is D minor 7, that's the 2, G7, that's the 5, C major 7, that's the 1. Now, the most common thing to play over this progression, and what we played in a lot of styles of jazz, especially in older jazz, is D Dorian on the first chord. D Dorian is the notes of C major, like C, D, E, F, G, A, B, played over D. So D in the bass and D minor 7. Second chord and second mode is G mixolydian. G mixolydian is the fifth mode of C major, which means the note of C major, so same note as the last chord, over G and G7. And then the last one is C major 7 or C6, and that's a 1. C Ionian, which is the notes of C major over C in the bass and C major 7 or C6 in the accompanying instrument. So let's see what it sounds like. For the second most common option, we're going to use D Dorian again on the D minor 7. Now on the G, instead of G mixolydian, we're gonna choose G diminished. So the notes are G, A flat, A sharp, B, C sharp, D, E, and F. Now for the C major 7 or C6, we're gonna use C Lydian. So C Lydian is the fourth mode of G major. So it has the note of G major, which are G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, till over C in the bass and C major 7 or C6 as the chord. And let's see what that sounds like. Now for the last option, we're going to play D Dorian again on the D minor 7. On the G chord, we're going to play G altered this time. G altered is the seventh mode of A flat melodic minor. So the notes are G, A flat, A sharp, B, C sharp, E flat, F, and that's it, G again. In this one, we have the flat 9, the sharp 9, the sharp 11, the flat 13. And on the 1, we'll play Lydian again. So C Lydian, fourth mode of G major again. So let's see what that sounds like. So that's it. That's a good place to start. And you're going to see this progression all the time in jazz. And if you learn those three options, you're going to immediately start sounding like you know what you're doing. I'm guessing not a lot of you heard about the saxophonist from Buffalo, New York, called Bobby Militello. I was mind blown when I heard him. He has maybe 3 or 4 albums out throughout the years. He played with a bunch of, big bands and famous people, but he never got a huge name for himself. Like, I never heard anybody mention him. And my bassist, Alex, said that somebody recommended this album to him because of the organ playing. And I was like, okay, let's check it out. And I don't know, my mind is blown. I want to see what you guys think about this guy. But to me, it's got his whole package, like great sound, great rhythm, and it's, from the day before people messed up with those stuff. Great, beautiful lines. Let's listen. Let's listen to the first song from his album, Easy to Love. Let's listen to Easy to Love and see what we think. How great is that? Like, really reminds me of, people like Cannonball, like really bluesy, like this open, bright sound. You can hear he has like kind of an easy setup and really pretty altissimo. And then just like, I don't know, I really, really, really like this guy. And it does make you think about like how many more monsters out there that it's like nobody, almost nobody heard about. And I'm sure some people are gonna comment and be like, oh, I heard about it. And it's like, yeah, come on. 17, 70 plays, 76 monthly listeners on Spotify. Okay, it's like, and me and everybody I send it to, I count for 10 of them. So I don't know. Check him out. The entire album is great. Easy to love, Bobby Militero. How much you should ask for when booking a gig? Now, this is a really tough question. It really depends on the type of gig. Where I see it, well, basically two big type of gigs. The first type is somebody is losing money on you and it's okay. Like you're doing a wedding, you're doing a party, whatever, a special event. They're not looking to make the money back that they paid you. In those instances, get as much as you can, get as much as you can get. That's all I say. It's like do something that will make you happy and not an amount that's too so big that if you don't get it, you're gonna you're gonna have to start to, debase yourself. The second type of gig, which is the most common one, is a gig that everybody has to make money and you have to make a portion of the money. So let's say you're gonna play in a restaurant, the restaurant will never pay you more than they made, because then they won't hire you, right? You're making a portion of it. Same thing with a bar, same thing with a venue. Now with a venue that sells tickets, you get a part of the tickets. So they're making money, a little bit of the tickets usually, but they're banking more on making money out of the bar, like selling food and drinks. And that's kind of a job. And usually in that kind of job, you have to bring the people out. And it's your responsibility and it's your responsibility to sell tickets. Now, once you understand that, you understand that the amount of money that you're asking is in complete relation to how much money the venue makes. So if you approach a place, like we used to play this place called Red Line Tap, doesn't exist anymore in Chicago. We used to do Wasted Wednesdays every other Wednesday. And it was packed. When you played it off, packed. But we only got paid $75 for the band. And the reason is that Wasted Wednesdays was $1 PBRs and it was for college kids and everybody just got a $1 beer. So, it was packed with maybe 100 people or even 200 people, not 200 people, but let's say 100 people, it was a small bar. 100 people, 120 people at capacity, and still they would make on beers like $360, 400, $500 for the night. They have to pay the sound guy $50, the door person $50. Now it's like there's just not enough money left for the band to justify it. And for them, it's like if they pay us, what you usually think you would get paid for something like that, which is like $700-800, we're gonna lose money, and there's no reason for them to do the show. So that's something that's very important to understand, that you're only making a fraction of the money that the place is making. And if the place is not set up to make money by selling tickets or selling food or selling beer that's not really cheap, then it's like there's just no reason for you to do this gig and the gig is doomed. Okay? It doesn't mean you don't have to do it, it just means you can only do it for so long until you're gonna start being salty. And that's basically also the rule of what gigs to take. My rule is if there is a good night, I want to make money. And if I'm bringing the people, like if I'm selling the tickets, then I want to make more money. So it's like I don't have venue that pay 450 or first, which I just had people booking a tour to Texas now. And they're like, first $450 go to the venue. And I was like, no, because if I bring 100 people at $15 a ticket or $20 a ticket, you're still getting a huge chunk of the money. And that's like, let's be realistic. But to me, 100 people, it's a great night for me. It's like to me, if I bring 50 people, it's also good. And it's like if you are 120 capacity venue and I'm bringing 50 people to pay $20 on a Monday, it's like it makes no sense that you're going to make 550 at the door, 600 at the door, and I'm going to make 400. So I'm not taking it. So to me, it's like that's my rule. I don't have to make money if the night is bad, because I understand I'm taking a risk. We're taking a risk, and if there is no money, I'm not trying to bankrupt the venue. But also, if the night is good, I want to get paid, because I did have shows back in the day that did great, but all of a sudden like 150 tickets, 200 tickets, and then I barely made any money. And I was like, dude, this is crazy. It's like, what am I doing here? So to me, if somebody tells me first 450 goes to the venue, I tell them, okay, that's fine, but I need at least $800 to $1,000 guarantee. So basically, first 800,000 going to me, the next 450 goes to you, and then we can split it. And then once we pass my guarantee, then, we can split it in a different way. But yeah, I don't like to put myself in a situation like that. So you have to be realistic about the amount of business the place is doing. And that also has to do with our longer plan. Like, let's say if I'm playing a bar and I'm playing for 4 hours on a Friday, I can assume that the bar is making a good amount of money, especially if they have food and stuff, or a brewery. And if they don't, then like I said, like, payment is gonna suffer. Generally speaking, just to conclude and give you a number, just so you can see, I think anywhere between 150 to $600, it's gonna make sense to a bar gig that, in a place you don't have a following. Just for entertainment, like, you're gonna play and entertain the people, and you're gonna play for 3, 4 hours, and people are gonna be here drinking, having a good time. I think 150 to 600 is a good beginning. Like, yeah, again, in a place that you don't have a following. If you have a huge following, obviously, you can negotiate more. When you look for place to play, I think that should be also a big thing of it. And I can tell you that when I booked shows back in the day, before we had Marvin had following, and before, we would sell tickets, I would try to get like $500, $400 on a weekend, which is nothing. And then during the week, I would just, as much as I can, like $100, $150, food, and a place to crash. I'm happy I'm not there anymore, but that's what you can expect in the beginning. So I would prepare appropriately. And also, the last thing about it, I would say, is that those venues, because of it, we don't have a lot of negotiating room. So I usually ask people, what are your terms that you usually do? And then from there, I kind of go and tweak it into a way that makes sense to me. Because some people, and I tell people, like, if you give me 100% of the tickets, which some people do, I was like, I don't need the guarantee. If you give me 50, then yeah, I need $1,000. So good luck. How beautiful is that? The thing that drew me into jazz, what I like about jazz, what I like about playing saxophone, is can make pretty and cool and funny melodies. And the way I play, and the way, at least it feels like, the people that I like to listen to play, it's just a stream of consciousness, basically singing through your horn. Ba-doo-dee-ba, ba-doo-doo-bee-ba-da, ba-dee-ah-dee-ah, ba-ba-ba-ba-bam-bee-ah. Right? This didn't have a key, didn't have chord progression, nothing. I just, letting a melody out. Just today, it sounds to me like people just showing homework. Like, I'm not gonna name specific names, but like a lot of the most famous saxophone players today, that I listen to them play as like I feel like they're just showing me the licks that they work on all the harmonic tools that they figured out. Everything is way too boxy in a way. Like you're bombarded with information. And I know, even my playing, I play a lot, right? And Eddie Harris, the thing we just listened to, it's not like he plays slow. It's not like he plays minimalistic, but it's just you feel like it's a guy searching, not a guy showing. It's a big difference for me. And it just makes it that even people that I think are really good objectively, I just am not attracted to their playing, and I just don't find myself coming back. And I can tell you, one of my favorite musicians that I ever listened to is Astor Piazzolla. I love his music. But the first time I heard him, I thought, oh, it's kind of boring. A friend of mine played it for me, and I was like, oh, it's kind of boring. It's not for me. But then I went home and I was like, I don't know, something about it's like I want to hear it again. And then again, and then again, and then again. And then I was like, became a huge fan. I think with a lot of those people, like I would check out their stuff just because I like to be on top of saxophone, but there is nothing about it that attracts me to hear it again. There is no, I don't know, no danger to it. I know from my playing, it's like I hate when I mess up technically, but I also would hate more to play a show and just do things that I know how to do and what they sound like. I'm sure Eddie Harris played it a million times on New York. And like for me, when I play a song that I like to play, like let's say Confess, and I'm confessing that I love you, I play it a million times, but I don't have things on it. Like I don't have licks that I play on it every time. I don't have specific voice leading even that I do on it. I played it so much that I feel really comfortable, and I explored it so much that I went every way with it, and it's driven for the melody. If you come and listen to me play the same song 40 times, it will be different every time. Like I don't put my stuff on it. I want to tell you about a show I went. I went to see this instrumentalist, plays fusion, like jazz fusion. I was very excited because I was like, man, this guy is the best I've seen in so long. Like something about him is really exciting. I can't wait to see it live. I was with my buddy in Chicago. We ate some gummies and, we were out there like ready to get our mind blown. And it was so disappointing. It just felt as if the person was a MIDI controller and it touches the button and the lick comes out. It just felt like lick after lick after lick after lick after lick, with no musicality or relations between the licks, without exploration, without anything, basically. And it was again technically perfect. It's like if you touch it and shoop, the lick comes out. I don't know. In some way, you can say, well, you just heard it once. What's the difference? Like, how do you know if he improvises or does it? Or how do you know that he plays licks? And like, I don't know, because you can feel it. Because you can feel it, because the way they were interwoven into each other, it just doesn't feel musical to me. It feels like, it's like you build something with blocks that are way too big. I think too many people now are too comfortable with taking huge chunks of music that they learn in all keys, and really, again, I will give it to them. They really put it into their playing. They really end up like hearing it. But when I hear it as a listener, I can't get excited by it. And I thought the show was one of the worst shows I've seen. And it was a bummer. I had, great time, great food, you know, I was with friends. It was a wonderful time, but the show was anything but wonderful. And I guess I would say one more thing. It's like everybody repeats themselves. Like, of course, I repeat myself all the time when I play, you know, and I have some movements that I do all the time, and some stuff that sounds very similar. I know that. I'm aware of that. Um, but I never sat down and figured it out, and it makes it that even if it's like similar run here, similar run there, it doesn't start on the same thing. It's not the same thing in the harmony. It doesn't go exactly the same way. It's not the same length. It's like I don't really know what's going on there. It's not worked out. I can't tell what anybody feels when they're listening to me. I just, obviously. But I would hope at least that I get some of that old school stuff that's like makes it a little bit more exciting. I don't know. And on that note, just good talking to you all. I'll see you all soon. And good luck, just kidding.